Well, we're going to take 33 seconds of quiet in here to just celebrate the fact that we finally got a possession game, that we had the ball more than they did. So if we could just pause. Let me kid. That was a crazy game. There's a lot of stuff that happened, and a marvelous job of just hanging and staying together and keeping it going where we had a chance to win. And I mean, it was one end to the other as far as extremes of play, and I'm really happy that our guys got a chance to get in the locker room and have fun with it and get a great win. You know, no matter when you get one, it's great, and this one was much needed, and there was a lot to celebrate in the game. A lot of huge plays. The big special teams play to start the game off was just great design by Izzo and Larry Izzo and Tracy Smith to take advantage of something they saw, and then perfect execution by the guys on there. And of course, Homer does the scoring. Ballor's blocking down. Everybody did great on that one. That's just an amazing play. But the rest of the game, to come back in the 2-minute situation at the end of the half was really, really a big deal. And to make a drive and get a touchdown, put us within a couple points was huge. And then we go right back into the sequence, take the ball off them the next time, on the kickoff team, and we wind up getting the safety and all that to tie it up. It was just a lot of crazy stuff that happened in this game that made it the way it was. Unfortunately, we turned the ball over 3 times today. We haven't turned the ball over 7 times all year or something, and the ball just got away from us today. And we needed every one of the ones on the other side. Diggsy's interception, Bobby's interception, fumble recovery on the kicking team. All those things were just so necessary, and we needed every one of them to get it done. So it was exciting for our guys to get AD a touchdown today, so we could tie the great Jim Brown and whatever. That was just for fun, and thrilled that he got a chance to do that and to have him with us on this game. Thought Rashad Penny looked really good today. Got some good carries out of him, a really good screenplay. We need him so badly to start lighting it up, and we think that he's got a chance to do that. Fortunately, he made it back this week. He had a hamstring just 2 weeks ago, and usually the guys don't make it, but he toughed it out and got through it. That's a big deal. It was a really big deal for him to overcome that and play this game, and and help us. I don't know. Go ahead. I just yapping here to give you some stuff. Go ahead.
Sorry if I missed it, but how's Jamal doing?
He sprained his shoulder today, the one that was operated on. So I don't know any updates as far as other than that.
Let's just go through everybody. Brian Monet, Shell.
Monet had a knee that he put a brace on and was okay to go back. Toughed that out for sure. Brandon Shell, same shoulder that's been bothering him, just aggravated again. Not a whole lot worse than it was last week, but he didn't finish last week either. We should note Jake Curran and Forsythe, got a chance to play in this game, and Stone, those guys, they did a nice job to help us finish the game, coming through with a couple of pups out there, so that was pretty special.
Carlos Dunlap rising up after you've mothballed him a couple of games. What's his professionalism been through this whole process?
Yeah, I think that was a great illustration of a guy just hanging tough and believing in himself, and we believed in him also. Gave him a chance with his matchup today. Totally came through and had a big day with the sack for the safety is gorgeous, and then of course the big play at the end. Knocking the ball up in the air, huge plays. And he was bringing the heat all day long as well.
You guys have had some memorable goal line stands here. What was that moment like?
That's great, man. There's really, when you play this game, there is nothing more thrilling than those opportunities to end the game. We've had a couple last year, remember New England or whatever it was a couple years ago, when we've had a bunch of them over the years. But there's nothing more thrilling than that, because every fiber of your body is cranking those guys out there. We'll never forget those 4 plays, and to come through in that way, a couple runs and then incomplete, and then the ball gets knocked down on 4th down. It was a sensational moment, and for our fans too, they deserve it so much. I'm so glad they got to have the fun of seeing that happen.
Were you second guessing at all, not having kicked the field goal prior to that, or?
Nah, never thought twice about it.
What do you think?
I thought Russ was strong. He had a good, solid football game. Made some great throws in the game. We took a couple sacks, and we need to talk about that. I thought maybe we could get rid of the football one way or the other, but I thought he played a really good football game. The 2-minute drill was exquisite. Again, the play to Tyler for the touchdown, that orchestration of that route and the concept and the call and all that was a great call by Shane, and great execution by the guys, and a great toss. we should have scored the other time down there. Gerald had a chance. He's in the end zone. That's a touchdown, and we had the other one too. So Russ had a couple more touchdowns in him today that didn't show up, and so I thought he played a really good game.
Speaking of Gerald, he's played so hard for you this year to have those 3 plays go against him like that.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking day, because he's a tough, competitive, come-through guy, and those plays just went the other way.
Signed Adrian Peterson on Wednesday. He practices twice at 36 years old. Did you think when you signed him that this would be realistic for him to play this much and contribute this much?
I hoped, and really I just wanted to bring him in to give him a chance to, to see our guys and be with our team and all. And I thought it was just such a rare opportunity, and he totally exceeded my expectations of his influence just being in our locker room and being on the practice field. He was so much the consummate pro about taking this opportunity to heart and going for it. He's played a lot of football, and he was so serious about it and so strict about the way he did everything. And he executed. He had a great week of practice, and he needed to play, and we knew he had that touchdown thing that we were trying to get, and the celebration was for the big guys that knocked it in so that he got a chance to score there, so it was worth it. It was very much worth it.
What went into the decision on the 4th down run from punt formation?
Really, that's the guys that picked up an opportunity for us, in the study during the week, and so we had to, it's a pretty cool call, to go for that, and you have to figure out where how far back in the situation and all, and so I said go for it, and going into the weekend, if we got the chance, kind of wherever it was, if it was legit and we really saw it cleanly, let's go for it, which we did, and it happened to be the first drive, and we're backed up, and it was perfectly executed by the guys.
One more injury thing. Kyle Fuller, how's he?
Yeah, he sprained his ankle. I don't know any update on that either.
So nothing to suggest that any of those guys who didn't finish would be long-term things?
No, I don't know anything about any of that right now. Sorry.
Adrian Peterson, your plans for the coming week?
Yeah, he's coming to the meetings on Monday. Here we go.
Holding that rushing attack to 71 yards after what they've done lately, so what does that tell you about your defense?
I tell you, that's a really, really. I'm glad you brought it up, John. I didn't mention it. That's a real accomplishment. These guys have rushed for almost 700 yards in the last 3 weeks and turned their season around doing that. And for our guys, I saw up there on the board at one time it was 61 yards in the 4th quarter. Holy cow! That happened to them one other time. Might have been the start of the season. The Cardinals might have done that to them. This is a team that is fully committed to running the football. Fully committed to it. They've run it average of 40 times a game for the last 3 weeks, and our guys took the challenge. Kenny and Clinton and Johnny, they all got their guys ready to go, and the guys went out there and played their tails off to get that done. That's a big deal. It's a big deal, we've been holding points down pretty good, and I'm just so disappointed we were 23 early, and then they shut them out in the second half. What a great effort by the guys in the second half. 3rd and 4th quarter, nothing. Beautiful.
You asked Chris to get his first touchdown.
Yeah, that was great. He looked good. He had a couple plays, made first down, and did a couple things that we're not surprised by. He's really got some strength to him and some explosiveness that will continue to allow him to make plays. We just got to get him going more. But he did a really nice job for us today.
How exciting is it to have him and the 2 offensive linemen, Forsythe and Kieran, all stepping up in a game like that when you guys were losing, and to be able to come back and them play such a big role?
I know. No, this is the time of year that these guys should be able to help us. They've been getting the reps. They've been involved enough in the preparation that they should, we expect that this could happen. And fortunately, the guys really came through. I don't know how they did. I can't tell you that, but I know we made it through it. And of course, Dwayne he made a couple big plays as well. But just those guys coming off the bench in that crucial of opportunity and to come through is really a big deal for the big fellas.
Just to clarify, why did you go for it on 4th and 1 there?
Because we were going to make a first down right there, and we made first down. It was a really good idea. I didn't foresee the next thing happening. I liked having the football. I knew we could make that one, and I wanted my guys to know that we're going for it. Really, we're going for it, and we should have got a touchdown there.
In terms of just always competing and believing in the messaging that you have, what does a win do for getting guys to buy in?
These guys are bought in. Really, really. They have to be at this point to be hanging like this throughout. Even they are. I trust in the leadership, Bobby and Russ and all the guys Dwayne I always tell you about. They continue to send the message. They keep us together. Last night, I'll tell you, you guys will have fun with this. And last night, Tyler did a really nice job in the meeting with us, and he had a chance to bring up something that he wanted to talk about, and gave him the opportunity. He did a great job with our guys about hanging together and about why we are connected in the way that we are. It was really cool, and I think it had something to do with today.
You talked about the fake punt already, but just special teams as a whole with the forced
God,
fumble.
they're on
punts,
fire.
like
Mikey kicked the ball. I mean, he did it again. I saw it on the board and realized he'd had the most balls inside the 20 than anybody in the league. Well, that makes sense because he's freaking great at what he does. Did you see the way when he spun that bounced and went about 70 or whatever that was? It was exactly the way he had planned it. He told me when he came off. I don't know. That's what he said. Tell you what he said. I'm just telling you what he said.
That was Lockett, right? Tyler Lockett. No, right. Last night, we spoke to the team.
Yeah.
About Lockett.
Same lines. Travis Homer, obviously, the touchdown run jumps out, but he was just all over the place too.
Having him back, we really missed him the week before because he's just so tough and he's so on to and takes such great pride in being a leader on special teams. It's so classy that he gets the chance to do that. I remember he had one a couple years ago, wherever that was, as well. You got to look out for him. He's dangerous. So we'll get everybody to be really afraid of us from now on. So that'll help us. But
How close was Alex Collins being to playing today?
it was close. We had this week with 3 guys, that were in question. I just went with the guys that practiced the best this week, that were the most healthy during practice, using that as the information. Alex will be ready to go, I think, next week. He's needed a week off for some time now, and this may help him down the stretch.
The 3rd and 14 pass to DK was a pretty big play.
Yeah. A great conversion for us right there with a beautiful throw and catch.
In general, what role do you think third down on both sides of the ball contributed to the win today?
Well, I think we're 3 for 10 on defense, and that held up pretty nice. It felt like, maybe because we're not accustomed, we converted 5 third downs today on offense. That's more than we've been doing. It still didn't come out percentage-wise like we like, but we had some big third down wins, and you can see how it just factors into the drives. And we'll continue to be at it, and it'll tell the story for the rest of the season, how we convert there.
Anything else? Thanks.
See ya.